All right, guys, before we get into today's video, I wanted to thank you all for supporting us and all of the great comments we get here on the YouTube videos and how much it's helping your game. And really, I know these videos are designed to help you, but I know that if you got coaching, that would be the key thing that could take your game to the next level. In fact, for me, that was really the differentiating factor. I got to be a pretty good player by myself, but man, the level of frustration. In fact, I quit golf probably like 20 or 30 times. Trying to figure it out by myself was foolish. I could have got a way better a lot faster. And that's what I want for you ultimately. Again, love that you're here, but I want to be able to do everything I can for you to take it to the next level. That's why I want to be your coach in 2024, which is why we're offering this 50% off end of year sale on our yearly membership at cogornogolf.com. That means 12 months of coaching with us. That means 24/7 access to coaches. That's any questions you have. That means member accountability, right? All access to all the members on the site. Over $2,000 worth of training videos. All of our live seminars, right? Our member library, our master classes, practice plans, everything I've learned, you get included absolutely free of charge. And it is the thing that I believe you need to really get over the hump for next year. So we'll just keep doing the same thing and getting the same results. And to take any risk away, we're also gonna give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you try this out for any reason in the next 30 days, decide you don't wanna do it, perfectly fine, we'll send you all your money back. I really truly believe that I can help you so much. So I wanna give you this big discount, so I wanna take the risk away, but we can't offer it forever. You do need to sign up before the end of January 1st. We'll put the link in the description down below. Would love to see you there. Would love to work with you throughout next year to improve your game. All right, guys, if you're someone who's good either with your irons, but you struggle with driver, or maybe you're good with driver and you struggle with your irons like I used to, and like one of my students did, today's video is gonna help you. I'm gonna talk about a key piece of how you move your body during the downswing that can make and break your swing in a certain way that works really good with irons, but really bad with driver, in a certain way that works good with driver, but bad with irons. Let's dive in. So earlier in my career playing, I used to always be really good with my driver, but I wasn't as good with the consistency of contact with my irons, and I never really understood why that was. And it really hasn't been until I've been teaching for a long time that I learned that how the body moves during the downswing is a key indicator, right? There's certain ways to move the body I'm going to show you that is helpful with an iron, and there's certain ways that's more helpful with a driver. And this was the same with one of my recent students that came in. He said, Eric, I saw the video you guys posted earlier. We posted a irons versus driver video. Sort of the concept, we can put an image on the screen, was with the driver, generally speaking, we want to swing a bit more around our body versus the irons can be a bit more up and down. But of course, there's more to the story, right? And part of what's more to the story is how the body works. And he said, Eric, I actually have the opposite issue, right? He's like, in that video we were talking about, maybe you're good with your irons because you're steep and you need to go more around with your driver to shallow it out. He said, I'm actually darn good with my driver, but I struggle with my irons. And so we looked at his video, his swing on video in our lesson, and he had the same issue that I had, which is we weren't using our lead side or moving our lead side correctly with the irons. What do I mean here? When I've got this iron in my hand, I've got the ball teed up just for simplicity. I actually left this divot here from our previous video we filmed, so you can see the visual of where the ball is and how the club is entering into the turf. When we've got an iron here, we know that we want to get the club head to do what? We want it to travel down, we want it to hit the ball first, and we want it to hit the ground second past this golf ball, like this divot in front, right? To compress it. The ball's sitting on the ground, we've got to hit down on it to get it go up and off that. But what happens when we have our driver, right? Let's say we've got the ball teed up. Do we want to hit down on this driver just like with the iron? Obviously not, right? Because we're starting with a different spot. With the driver, we want the club head to hit level or slightly up to maximize how far we hit the golf ball. Especially the slower your club head speed, the more important that is to get the ball to still travel far. Now, if that's true, one of these clubs I need to hit down more. One of them I need to hit up. I've got to move my body a little different. In fact, him on TrackMan was very similar to me. With a 7-iron, we had this club traveling about 5 or 6 degrees down at the moment of impact. The low point of the swing was about 4 inches ahead of the ball. So I had the club head traveling down with the low point forward. With the driver, we had the low point behind the ball and it was traveling up about 3 degrees. So it's an 8-degree difference in angle of attack. Now, how could I have my body in the same position in the downswing, yet move my angle of attack 8 degrees? And the answer is you can't, okay? So the concept here is all about how the lead side of my body works, and we're gonna create this wall on the screen and show you some images where during the downswing, if I wanna be a good iron ball striker, hit ball first, ground second, compress the ball, a huge key is at this line that's at my lead shoulder, we'll call that this sort of impact wall here. I need to be able to get my lead shoulder past that line through impact. We'll say at impact and past impact. I need to break this wall with my lead shoulder during the downswing. That means my lead shoulder with an iron is going to travel more down and forward for longer. When my lead shoulder travels more down and forward for longer, that helps the club head travel more down and forward. Okay, think about the club head's going to follow the lead shoulder. I want the club head to go down and forward. The lead shoulder goes down and forward. Now, as my lead shoulder goes down and forward, where's my chest at? That's also at or past the ball, right? I'm covering the ball here. My head moves slightly forward. That's key piece number one. Now, me, back in the day, and the student I had, did the opposite of that with the driver, okay? So with the driver, if we show some good images on there, what do we want to do? Well, now we no longer want to break that wall. Remember with the driver, we want the club head to travel up through impact. Iron, lead shoulder goes down and forward for longer. Driver, we don't want the lead shoulder to get back to the wall ever. Iron, the shoulder breaks through the wall. Driver, the shoulder stays back of the wall. And when the shoulder works more up and back, that club head works more up and through, okay, to hit up on the ball. So the student that I had, if you live on this category of kind of better with the driver, but you don't compress the irons, you need to focus on getting the lead shoulder to break through the wall. That means your lead shoulder needs to feel like it travels down and forward for longer. The drill we did, and there's a million drills to do, we kept this one pretty simple, and you can try this one here, is you put a club across your shoulders with the majority of the club to the left, so the grip end is towards the target. And I said to the gentleman who was there, let's make a little backswing, and now feel your grip, right? And again, it's gonna be slightly exaggerated, but feel the grip end of the club work down and forward to the point where it points at least a foot in front of the golf ball. If I did it incorrectly, I would go up right away, right? That starts to point up towards the sky. I want it to, it's down at the top of my backswing. You'll notice on both these, right, that it's certainly turned behind the golf ball. But from here, it goes down and forward. Down and forward. I want to feel like my chest gets back to the golf ball. Down and forward. Down and forward. I'm just feeling that motion to start with. And my goal with that down and forward motion, feels like the weight's going into my lead foot, the shoulder's working forward, like my head's also working forward slightly with this as well. The goal is hit more down on the ball, right? If you're good at the driver but not with the irons, create that compression, shoulder works down and forward. And there we compressed a nice little 7-iron, probably about a 2-yard cut, just slightly right of my target line. Solid compression, right? Ball first, ground second. So the more you want to create compression and hit down on your irons, the more you want your lead shoulder to work down and forward. You see with the Adam Scott, how he clearly breaks through the wall at and past impact before he starts working up and back around with the lead shoulder, down and forward. Now, we added a little visual and an extra little layer. I also put a little club inside his heel line at the setup position, just to represent where the lead shoulder line works. So we did this drill, right, with the club across. We're turning back and then we're working down and forward, down and forward. Get this a couple feet in front of the golf ball. I also said, just in general, hey, let's put a club inside your left heel, kind of representing the inside part of the shoulder. And I want you to feel like when you come down, right, when I make a backswing, the shoulder obviously works back away from the target, full turn. I want you to, I can see the club in my peripheral here. I want to get my shoulder to make sure it works forward of that during the downswing. Or you can use your left ankle here. Get the lead shoulder working forward of that as I go down. And so that's just a little added sensation to feel the same thing. So more compression with the irons, more lead shoulder down and forward. And there's two really nicely, solidly struck iron shots. Okay, so if we want to hit the irons better, create more compression, remember the lead shoulder breaks through the wall. With the driver now, okay, if you're on the opposite end of the spectrum, and not like my student and I, and you need to hit the driver better, we need to learn how to actually keep the lead shoulder from breaking through the line. Said different, right, at setup, if we draw that line up the shoulder like Justin Thomas, we make a backswing, obviously we're going to turn that lead shoulder back. Now as it comes down, it does go forward, right? If we look at both the players at about hands hip high, Adam Scott's got his shoulder about on the line, Justin Thomas slightly behind it, but from there through impact's the key difference. From there through impact, Justin Thomas with the driver, look at his shoulder. That works up and back. Whereas Adam Scott with the iron works more down and forward. So with the iron, the chest stays more on top of the hips, the shoulder works more forward, hit down. The driver, the chest stays back of the hips, the shoulder works more up and back. Okay, so if you're on the opposite end, you just flip the drill. Instead of with the iron, you'd put the grip on the left, you'd feel that working down and forward. Down and forward. But look at with the driver, that would be chaos, right? I'd hit too far down, the ball would go nowhere. Instead, I'm going to feel the same thing from here. I'm going to get this behind the golf ball, good backswing turn, and then almost right away, it won't happen right away on camera, but almost right away, we want to feel this grip end now work up and back. Now notice as it's working up and back, my lead shoulder, up and back, never breaking through that front wall. Justin Thomas, his head will actually work slightly away from the target as he does it. His hips are still going forward. The shoulder's working up and back. The hips are going forward, but the head stays back. The chest works up. And if I feel that lead shoulder working up on the way through, then I can get the angle of attack working slightly more up through the golf ball. So here I'll feel a good setup, get my lead shoulder working up and back in the downswing. And there's a really high, straight, little buttercut. I might need more of that. Little buttercut driver to hit more up. Notice what? No divot on that one, right? Hitting up on the ball, maximizing how far we hit it. So if you want to be a good driver of the ball, it's essential that that shoulder stays more back. Now, as I stay more back with the shoulder, right, I don't have my hips and my weight all the way back. My hips, and Justin Thomas we can show on the screen, are still pushing up and forward. My chest is still pushing up towards the sky. Your head can actually work away from the target slightly, but the shoulder never gets through that line. The shoulder stays back. Hips push forward, the shoulder stays back. Shoulder up and back. We'll do the same thing here, one more. Good setup. Shoulder up and back with the driver. And there's two really solid drives there I would take. Okay, so I need a little bit more of that as well. So it depends on what end of the spectrum you come from, okay? But if you're good with the irons, but not the driver, you probably need more of the shoulder up and back. If you're good with the driver, but not the irons, you probably need more of the shoulder down and forward to hit those irons better. See which end of the spectrum you are, give that one a try. It'll really help your ball striking.
And there's just such a wealth of information and such a wealth of like videos and all of the different webinars and all the different instructional tools. It's just such a tremendous amount of value, I feel. I'm Jeff Makepeace. I'm here in St. Paul, Minnesota. It was just the swing analysis where I could get feedback specific to how I swing the golf club and how I hit the ball. I think that would be worth as much or more than I'm paying right now. But the comprehensive nature of all of the different access that you have on the portal through the website is just, it's so far above and beyond, because it just takes something as simple as chipping or putting or different parts of the swing, and it like expands it out into like the whole video program of like, again, just kind of piecing it together. It's not all in one. It's just like you should do, if you want to get your early extension, which I have a problem with because of my old back problems, Well, the first thing you want to do is this with your legs. And then we're going to do, once you do that, then you're going to do this with your hips on down the line until you're a perfect golfer. So having all of that, and there's just such a wealth of information and such a wealth of like videos and all of the different webinars and all the different instructional tools. It's just such a tremendous amount of value, I feel, because I've done different ones before and just it didn't come close to all of the resources that I feel that are available and at every golfer's hands. It's astounding how much